Have you ever found out that someone was going through something you never would have guessed? Maybe they smiled every day, they showed up, they laughed, they asked how everyone else was doing, and then one day you learned they had been carrying something incredibly heavy all along. Whenever that happens, it reminds me how little we can actually see because every person we meet has an invisible story, a story we know nothing about. And I think that is one of the most humbling things about being human. Welcome to Soul Time, a show that explores the world of unlocking your unique potential. My name is Dr. Katja Makowka, and I'm a teacher at school, a former teacher at universities, and a stress and mental coach. And I'm your host. I sometimes wonder what the world would feel like if we could see just a little more of one other's inner lives. Not to invade someone's privacy, but simply to understand. Imagine walking into a room and somehow being able to see what every person is quietly carrying. Someone is missing a parent, someone is waiting for medical results, someone is wondering whether they are good enough, and someone is grieving a dream that didn't come true. Someone is celebrating a small victory that no one else noticed. And someone is trying their very best not to give up. And suddenly, the room looks completely different. The people haven't changed, only our understanding of them has. And I think we spend so much of our lives looking at one another from the outside. We see someone's confidence, or at least what looks like confidence. We see success. We see a smile. We see the holiday photos, the achievements, the conversations. But none of those things know the whole story. Because every single one of us has a part of our life that remains unseen. The conversations we replay in our minds, the mistakes we still think about, the hopes we have, the people we miss, the quiet fears that visit us when no one else is around, and the dreams we are protecting until they feel ready to be shared. And perhaps that's more common than we realize. Maybe what connects us isn't that our stories are the same, it's that we all carry something. When I think about the people I've met over the years, I have often been surprised by what I discovered long after I thought I knew them. The colleague who always seemed cheerful but was caring for a loved one. The student who smiled through lessons while carrying worries no child should ever have to carry. The friend who kept encouraging everyone else while quietly wondering whether they were enough. Those moments have stayed with me. Not because they made me feel guilty for not knowing, but because they reminded me how much depth there is in every person. We are so much more than what the world sees. And maybe that's true for you too. Maybe there are things you are carrying that almost nobody knows about. Perhaps you are hoping for something, trying to heal from something, working toward something, or missing someone. or learning something about yourself, or simply trying to hold everything together while hoping no one notices how tired you are. And if that's true, I hope you know this. You are not alone. You are human, and every person listening today has so many stories, chapters you don't know, challenges they have overcome, achievements you know nothing about. And I think there is something comforting about that. Not because life is always easy, but because it reminds us that we are far less alone than we sometimes feel. And I think there is something else that's important to say. Recognizing that we all carry something doesn't mean we have to share everything with everyone. It doesn't mean we owe anyone every chapter of our story. Each of us gets to decide what we share, when we share it, and with whom. Some things we tell almost everyone. Some things we only share with the people we trust most. And some things remain deeply personal. Not because we are hiding, but because they are part of our story, and we get to decide when we are ready to tell it. And if there are so many reasons people don't share what they are carrying. Sometimes they are afraid of being judged. Sometimes they don't want to worry the people they love. And sometimes they haven't found the words yet. And sometimes they are still trying to understand their own story before sharing it with someone else. Every one of those reasons deserves respect. But here is the beautiful thing. Whether someone chooses to tell us their story or not, we can still meet them with kindness and respect. Because the truth is, we only ever see a small percentage of a person's life. We don't know what happened before they walked into the room. We don't know what they are going home to. We don't know the conversations they have had with themselves, the disappointments they have carried, or the courage it took just to get through today. And unless we have truly walked in someone else's shoes, we can never fully know what their journey has been like. Perhaps remembering that doesn't give us all the answers, but it does remind us to leave room for understanding, for stay curious instead of making assumptions, and to remember that every person we meet has a story that's far bigger than the part we get to see. And as always, this brings me back to children. Children also carry invisible stories. Sometimes they are excited about something they can't wait to share. And sometimes they are worried about something they don't know how to explain. And sometimes they are trying to be brave, or they are wondering if they belong. Sometimes they are hoping that just one adult will notice them. And their inner world is every bit as rich as ours. And while we can't know everything a child is carrying, we can create spaces where they feel safe enough to share a little bit more of it. And the same is true for adults. I think one of the greatest gifts we receive in life is meeting people with whom we don't have to hide our inner world. people who don't expect perfection, people who don't rush us, people who make us feel that we can say, today is hard, or I'm really excited, or I'm scared, without feeling judged. Those people are rare and they are unforgettable because they remind us what it feels like to be fully seen. And as we come to the end of today's episode, I would like to leave you with one thought. The next person you meet will almost certainly be carrying something invisible. So will the person after that and the person after that. Not because life is only made of difficulties, but because every human being has an inner world that deserves curiosity, compassion, and respect. And so do you, because while other people may only see a small part of your story is always bigger than what anyone else can see. Maybe that's one of the most beautiful things about being human. We are all walking through life, carrying chapters nobody knows about, and every now and then, if we are fortunate, we meet someone who makes us feel safe enough to share a page or two. Thank you so much for spending this time with me today. Until next time, take good care of yourself and of the people whose stories are still unfolding around you. Because if we want kids to win in life, we must show them how. Thank you so much for taking the time to listen to Soul Time. I'm very grateful because you have given me the greatest treasure of your life, your time. If you enjoyed this episode, click the subscribe button so that you get a notification every time a new episode is out.